Om Shri Swaminarayan Namo Namaha, Shri Hari Krishna Maharajaya Namo Namaha, Shri Ghansham Maharajaya Namo Namaha, Shri Sadguru Bhyo Namo Namaha. Welcome to SwaminarayanSpirituality.com. This is Sachin Karnik. I would like to offer my prostrations to Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwan and to all the great sages and to all the incarnations of God. Before we begin our contemplation today, we're continuing today, Vachanamrut Garada Pratham number 1, and this is part number 18, the 18th recording on the question of Maya. It's the 18th recording in Garada Pratham 1, but it is continuing on the question of Maya. So from last time, we were looking at the question asked by Govardhan Bhai. He is a householder devotee of Shriji Maharaj. Please remember that Shriji Maharaj or Ghansham Maharaj, Hari Krishna Maharaj, Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwan are referring to the same person, same individual. Different names in different ways, that's all. So the question here asked by the householder devotee Govardhan Bhai, he asked this question to Maharaj. The question in Gujarati was, Jene Bhagwan ni Maya kahe che, tenu roop Su che. How can we understand Maya? What is the form of Maya? We talked about this last several times. Maharaj's answer in this, let's go over that again rather quickly, and then we will go into the depths of various other aspects of this answer that we may not have covered before. So Maharaj answered, Shriji Maharaj bole je. I'll speak in Gujarati, I'll translate everything into English for you as much as I can. So Shriji Maharaj bole je, Bhagwan no bhakta hoy, tene Bhagwan ni murti nu dhyan karta, je padarth adu avine avran kare, tene Maya kahiye. So Maharaj has given a fantastic, very practical, applicable, and highly experiential definition of Maya. So it is the personality of Maharaj and the way he explained Adhyatma, spirituality, is in a concentrated synthesis. At least the Vachanamrut is written that way. He probably spoke longer, but the Paramansas, the 4 Paramansas that edited the whole Vachanamrut, they concentrated the whole thing together into these key sentences. And Maharaj also spoke in this concentrated manner, as far as I know. So Maharaj is giving an answer that is very, very liberating. The answer is liberating in what sense? That a direct experiential view of Maya is given. Experiential meaning what? We sit for dhyan. Dhyan meaning meditation. Now remember, dhyan meaning what? Dhyan has a lot of meaning, so dhyan means meditation in one sense. But if you were to look at this word dhyan, there are multiple perspectives on what is dhyan. So I'm going to explain this today further. But before I get into that, I just want to mention, that Maharaj is giving a description of what is Maya that is based on sadhana. And that sadhana is based on the very first paragraph in this Vachanamrut, to keep the mind continuously engaged in the vritti, to keep the mind engaged in the form of God. So we looked at that before. So we can try to understand Maharaj's answer about Maya in the context of Akhanda Vritti. That is the best way. But there's other aspects that all connect with that. Right? So the word dhyan, now I'm going to actually refer to, and this is just a reference. This is from the BAPS free app that is available in Gujarati and in English. I want to make it very clear again that I am not promoting or criticizing any guru parampara, any particular organization. This is a free app, and I'm just going to give some references and give some exposition on that from there. There are other apps also. There are other interpretations also. There are many, many ways to look at this. I'll try to provide as much as I know about it for you. But, here the speaker, that is Sachin, is not promoting or criticizing any organization. There's a lot of internal dispute and all kinds of things are there within the sampradaya, and I have stayed away from that completely. I have nothing to do with that. The only purpose here is to stay with the spirituality, pure adhyatma of Bhagwan Swaminarayan. And then all the great sages, what they have taught, what the different perspectives are on that basis. I'm making that clear again. I know I've stated that before, but I cannot emphasize that enough, because there's a tremendous amount of confusion, and then from that confusion, all kinds of problems are even present today in the sampradaya, as well as people outside the sampradaya have a lot of misunderstanding about it. So anyway, I won't go too much into that here. If anybody has any specific questions about it, contact me directly. All right, so I want to go further here regarding dhyan. I'm going to translate it from the Gujarati into English based on this BAPS app, which is very well done in my opinion. But again, it is done from their perspective. You know, if there's other organizations, it might be they have done from their perspectives. But what they have done in this BAPS app, they have actually taken these words like dhyan and many others and have given certain exposition on that in the footnotes. But it's not really in a footnote form. It is like in the app. It's embedded within the app. So the original language of Vachanamrut is as it is. They have not changed anything there, thank God. You know, but they have given, nonetheless, they have given their particular interpretation and perspective. And I'm going to use that and then give, based on my own contemplation and the grace of gurus and all, a certain further interpretation and elaboration on their interpretation. Right? So these recordings are going to be in depth. This is not a child's play. Vachanamrut is for those who want to realize God and nothing else. If you want something else other than God, Vachanamrut is, it will be helpful, but it is not really for you. You know, it is for those who only want to realize God. If you want something other than that, there's other things available for that. You see, Vachanamrut breaks completely Agnan, right from the root level. And it is at a level that is indescribable. So I'm in Sachin here with the blessings of Maharaj and the right intention, as understood in the satsang, is trying to explain this as it is, without dilution, without diversion, without dilution, without any distortion, as it is. In the entire Vachanamrut, you'll find only one fundamental idea, that is to keep your attention on God, on Bhagwan, and to not be stuck inside this sansar, to not want anything from this sansar at all. Not wanting anything from this sansar all the way up to the 4 forms of liberation, Chaturdha Mukti. Not even desiring that. That is the level that Vachanamrut is talking about. So if we are aiming towards that, yes. And then Maharaj is, of course, it is for everybody, no doubt. I don't want to make it sound too harsh. Everybody should read it. But what is it really teaching? What is the teachings of Sriji Maharaj? He's saying keep completely your attention on Bhagavan. You will not find any statement anywhere in Vachanamrut that says you will find anything that is going to give you constant ananda in the sansar. Not just this sansar, the 14 lokas. Nowhere in Vachanamrut is there any sentence that says be attached to this world. Live in this world, live as per this world, but keep it secondary and keep your attention on Bhagavan and Paramatma. Bhagavan meaning the God that exists in Akshara Brahma, beyond Akshara Brahma. This is the point. So in reality, as it is, Vachanamrut is for those who are mumukshus or who want to be mumukshus, who want to realize what is God. Please understand, if you don't have that desire to realize God, that will come about also if you study this. There's a special blessing in Vachanamrut. It is a very special blessing given by Shriji Maharaj himself. He says, if you keep reading this Vachanamrut, he has given the blessing that I will explain it to you. He will explain it to us. But our job is to do our Manan Chintan. If we can do that much by the blessings of our gurus, that is very, very nice. It is excellent. It will help us a lot. Anyway, I don't want to make it sound unapproachable. It is not unapproachable, but it is a very supra level text, as it is. The the magic in this also, in the text of Vachanamrut, is that the common village people in Gujarat could also understand this in simple language. They could understand it, and there are simple analogies, but if you probe into this thing, even the topmost scientists and psychologists and Vedantic experts and acharyas would still find this something much beyond what their understanding is. That is the extraordinary miracle that is in Vachanamrutam. That the common individual villager in the state of Gujarat at that time, because this was spoken in Gujarat, can grasp the language, and if you keep reading it, it will become clear by the grace of God. But nonetheless, in our modern world today, the attempt here by Sachin as a sevak is simply to present these ideas as clearly, as thoroughly as possible. Now, there's no way Sachin here is going to ever come to the end of this. It's not possible. We could spend the rest of our life on Garada Pratham 1 easily. I mean, you could spend the entire life on that, and the whole Vachanamrut is in that. All the scriptures are in that. Everything is in there. It is a synthesis like none other, in my opinion. Other scriptures are already in here. Everything is there, right? So the question is about slowly, carefully presenting this. This is Sachin's intention, by the grace of Maharaj and all the sages, to bring this Adhyatma out in the English language as a seva, as much as Sachin can do, by the blessings of Bhagwan. And who was he doing this for? For myself, first of all. For my own development. That's why, if these talks are useful to anybody, that is perfectly okay. Alright, so let's continue now. Swaminarayan Hare. Now, Maharaj kya kehte hai isme? Maharaj says in here, he's talking about dhyan. Right? He uses the word dhyan. And he's using the word dhyan in relation to God, meaning meditation on God, meditating on God. Now, this is a general idea. Bhagwan nu dhyan. Right? Bhagwan nu dhyan karta. Adu avine avran kare. He's giving a definition of Maya. We talked about it before. That all of the obstructions that occur in this meditation, that is Maya. Now, a couple of points based on the BAPS app. In Gujarati, it is written in that app as the footnotes. And I'll translate it for you. He says, they have written very nicely here. He says, Ahi dhyan etle je vastuni dharana karvama ave tej vastuma prayatna vinaj vrittiyoni ekakarta. So I'll explain it to you. He says, it says here, Ahi dhyan etle, meaning what is dhyan? Je vastuni dharana karvama ave. That you are holding. Dharana means you are holding the murti. Dharana is what? Dharana means you are, focused. You're trying to hold God inside of you. It is an attempt. You see? Now, murti here means what? What does that mean? So if you look at the language here, Maharaj is, if you look at this one line answer, Maharaj bola je Bhagwan no bhakta hoy, tene Bhagwan ni murti nu dhyan karta. Meaning what? The attempt to meditate. If you are a devotee, if there is a devotee who has nishta, nishay, has realized that the Parabrahma, Paramatma is in front of me, in form of my Ishtadevata, as a murti or in the human form, during the time of Maharaj, in human form, or existing within the Guru, within our great sages. All of those are ways of understanding this word murti. There's even a broader, there's a higher level than that. That is that Bhagwan is present everywhere. Ishavasya. But that is a state of realization. We cannot, it's difficult to start with that. So we start with the murti. So he says here, Bhagwan no bhakta hoy, tene Bhagwan ni murti nu dhyan karta. Let's stop at that point. Just half the sentence. The attempt to meditate. Now, how is this meditation done? What is involved in this meditation? This is what we're going to look at today. carefully, step by step. So first of all, the point made in this BAPS app is that there is dharana done. Dharana means you are attempting to hold the murti inside your mind as being Bhagwan, as God. That is God. For in Swaminarayan temples, you will see the murti of Ghansham Maharaj, Hari Krishna Maharaj, Sajanand Swami, different names are there, Nilkand Varani. So that is the Ishta Devata form in the Sampradaya. Other Sampradayas have other Ishta Devatas. So, dharana means to hold the murti without getting caught in any other distraction. And when that dharana reaches a stage of effortless vritti, staying in that, that is dhyan. That is a very beautiful line written by the commentators of BAPS. So my prostrations to them and pranams to them. They have written it beautifully. He says here, Ahi dhyan etle je vastuni dharana karvama ave tej vastuma prayatna vinaj vrittiyoni ekakarta. Now there's a lot of beautiful ways to understand this sentence they have written. Vrittiyoni ekakarta means what? That vrittis, all the vrittis, the thoughts and feelings and emotions and memories and all, they have come together and they have become synchronized, they have become absorbed together inside the contemplation of God. And this is a general idea applicable in any theistic tradition. You can apply this idea in the Judaism, Christianity, Islam, in the Bhakti Sampradayas. You can apply it in terms of yoga. You can apply it in terms of Advait Vedanta. You can apply it in terms of Vishishta Advait Vedanta. You can apply it in terms of any form of Vedanta. And you can apply it, it is possible for us to apply this in other ways also. Now, the same word dhyan is used in Ashtanga Yoga. So the commentators in the BAPS app, they have written here, and I will always give you the reference, where is the reference coming from? Because I will not speak anything without the proper references. Alright, so dhyan, they have written beautifully here, dhyan e yogna at angmanu satmu angche. It is the seventh step among the eightfold yoga. What is the eightfold yoga as per Patanjali? That is yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. These are the 8 angas, they're called. Are they 8 steps? You could use the word step if you want. They're not really, you can say steps, but anga means that they're forms. They are aspects. They are actually, they are 8 dimensions of the one movement of psychological consciousness from lower consciousness to higher consciousness. That's a more accurate way of putting it. But we can say 8 steps. It's all right. So, yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana. This is the 6th one. The 7th one is dhyan. And after that is samadhi. Shriji Maharaj is answering this question directly from the 7th step. You see why Vachanamrut is so, at what level it is at. So, this dhyan that he's referring to, dhyan of who? Dhyan of God. But the murti of God, Bhagwan ni murti. Why is he using the word murti? Why doesn't he simply say Bhagwan no bhakta hoy tene Bhagwan nu dhyan? Why is he using the word murti? This word comes again and again and again and again. There are many answers, many reasons why. First of all, if we accept that God exists everywhere as per the Upanishadic tradition, there is no doubt that God, that is the realization of the rishis. But when they're using the word God, when the Upanishads are using the word God, mostly throughout the Upanishads, they are talking about the formless Akshara Brahma that Maharaj is talking about. Upanishads mostly stop there. They do talk about beyond the Nirakara Brahma also. There are some verses, and there is quite a bit of commentary written recently, and there's a whole the Swaminarayan Tattva Darshan that is written by Pujya Bhadresh Dasji Swami, based on the BAPS interpretation, and then based on Vachanamrut on the Panchbhed. It's a very extensive subject. But so he has shown, as far as I know, from the Upanishads and scriptures like Gita and others, Brahma Sutras, how Brahma and Parabrahma are separate and as per Maharaj. But I won't go into all that here, because that is a much more extensive philosophical and scriptural description at a level that is written by the high level scholars. But nonetheless, we can understand it from where we are, even though as extraordinary as this is. I'll try to put it in short and simple, short and sweet, some of the Tattva Gnan, because it can get very, very complicated and very tricky to understand, right? So the point is that when Maharaj is using the word Murti, because I want to stay with Maharaj's language here, he's using this word Murti to refer to that tattva that is beyond the Akshara tattva. This is one reason why he uses the word Murti. I'll give you as many reasons as I know, I'll tell you. And you can share with me whatever is missing in here. I'll be happy to hear. So this is one reason why. The Upanishads stop there. Upanishads mostly, and even many interpretations in Advaita Vedanta, etc., they stop at this Brahma tattva. They never get to that Murti. That the form of God, the problem, I mean, not problem, but that is just the realization of Advaita Vedanta. They say that any form, including God's form, is unreal. Because when they hear the word form in Advaita Vedanta, they want nothing to do with that. This is the fact. So they want to get out of all the forms, including all the forms of God. They believe in the forms of God here, but there's some problems in Advaita Vedanta. They cannot really explain avatar theory very well. They cannot explain, where Maya came from. Shankaracharyaji's explanations are about what is beyond Maya. And from that standpoint, yes, there is the Brahma Tattva. That is correct. So this is a little bit philosophical, little bit Tattva based. But Maharaj is using the word Murti, referring to that Paramatma Tattva, Parabrahma Tattva. The word that is used in Vachanamrut is Aksharatit, beyond Akshara Brahma. That God exists, God meaning not the Saguna Brahma that Advaita Vedanta talks about. See, these words get very confusing at times. So one has to be clear. And also here he's not talking about the Ishwar Kotis. This word Murti doesn't refer to the Ishwar Kotis. It doesn't refer to the Nirakara Brahma. It doesn't refer to Akshara Brahma. It refers to only one Tattva, that is Aksharatit, Parabrahma, Paramatma. That's what Vachanamrut's point of view. If you disagree with Maharaj, that's between you and him. But this is what he's talking about. So he's talking about the devotees who have recognized this Murti. Now, gets even more interesting. Which Murti is he talking about? Is he talking about Bhagwan Krishna, Bhagwan Ram, the 24 incarnations? Who is he talking about? You can look at it that way because it's not clear. It's not directly written which Murti he's talking about. But in many ways, if you look at the entirety of Vachanamrut, during that time of Maharaj, Maharaj himself spoke in this way, Pragat Sri Krishna, Pragat Bhagwan. He's talking about the presence of that Murti in him. That's one way to talk about it. Like he's holding that Murti. But then that makes him a Sadguru. Now there's another way to understand that. He's mentioned in Garada Madhya 13 that Murti Maharaj said, that's me. So devotees of Swaminarayan will say that Murti that is in Akshara Brahma, beyond Akshara Brahma, that is manifesting as Sajanand Swami, and that is the Murti that he's talking about himself. He's talking about himself, but he's not going to say me and mine. He's not going to use the I pronoun because it is not all that appropriate. It would cause confusion. So that's another way to look at this. There is another way also. I've heard people say this also over the years, that Maharaj is a devotee of Sri Krishna, and he has realized Sri Krishna. So he's holding Bhagwan Krishna in him. Akhandadharak, Krishna na Akhandadharak in Gujarati. So there are those who believe that also. So look, this is not a matter of divisive debate. This is a matter of realization and study and contemplation and grace to realize what is the truth in this. And also because you can look at his own life, the development from all these different stages. Doesn't matter. For us right now, I mean, it does matter, but we don't want to get into controversies about this. What we want to get into is what is the practical application and what is the meaning behind this for everybody, the spirituality behind it. Whoever your Ishta Devata is, if you have Ishta Devata, that is very good. You have to have, without Ishta Devata, you cannot do Dhyan. But the perspective in terms of Dhyan here is of Upasana, that to worship Bhagwan, it is not the worship of Akshara Brahma, the Muktas or sages or anybody else. The one who is worthy of meditating on, one who is worthy of Dhyan, one whose Dhyan we ought to do is Bhagwan, not anybody else. So we can say that God is present in the sages. We can say God is present everywhere, but He is present. Otherwise, as per Vachanamrut, the Upasana gets deflected. So incorporated in the word Dhyan is the entire understanding of Upasana. That's why he's using the word Murti. Now there's some other meanings here. Psychologically the word Murti is also support. You have to have a support, like it's called Avlamban. But Maharaj doesn't consider the Murti as only a support. It is not just a support, although it is. It's not just a support. It is more than that. It is a support, but it is also the ultimate goal. That's a little different idea from Vedanta, Advait Vedanta. In Advait Vedanta, they say bhakti is a purifier and then Jnana is the ultimate, that you are the Brahman and that's finished. That's it. Maharaj doesn't discount that, but he says in Vachanamrut also that one who has realized the Brahmic state, still for such an individual, the Parabrahman is beyond and still yet to be realized. This is also written in Vachanamrut. So there's a lot embedded in these words if you probe it further, right? But anyway, we were talking about Ashtanga Yoga. So the Ashtanga Yoga process is where Patanjali Rishi has shown these 8 limbs. They're called the 8 limbs of yoga. Limbs is a correct translation actually. 8 limbs, not 8 steps, but 8 limbs. So Maharaj, Swaminarayan Bhagavan, Shriji Maharaj has, of course, in his life he mastered Ashtanga Yoga, no doubt. But he has shown the path of bhakti in Vachanamrut. Of course, yoga can be a support. The asanas, pranayamas, etc. All these things are support. No doubt. Urdhvareta, brahmacharya, that is part of the beginning stage. Again, this is a very intricate subject. For Tyagi sadhus, there's more to be taken from Ashtanga Yoga than the Grahasthas. Grahastha path, the householder path, is more towards bhakti. And bhakti is also there for the Tyagi sadhus, for the renunciates. But they have more to take from Ashtanga Yoga because they have to observe strict celibacy. To observe strict brahmacharya, it is called Urdhvareta, Naishtik brahmacharya, particularly in the male body. Female body also it is there. If you want to observe that, then there's a lot to be taken from the eightfold yoga. So that is also implied in this. It's tremendous. I mean, if you but it requires a bit of kind of interconnected understanding here for us to see the interconnections. But here Maharaj is saying, what is the question? What is the answer? The question is about Maya. What is Maya? What is the form of Maya? Maharaj is saying there's a 4-step process here. 4 major points he's making. Bhagwan no Bhakta is point number 1. The second point is Murti nu Dhyan. The third point is Padarth Adu Avi. Adu meaning that it comes in between. And the fourth point is Avran. So let's look at all these, and we'll, as we're continuing in Dhyan, they all connect together. That if a devotee is intent upon meditation. Why would anybody be intent upon that? Somebody could simply say, I'm a devotee, I believe in God, I believe in Bhagwan, I have a murti at home, why I should do dhyan of that murti? Why? Why not simply do some bhajan, kirtan, manan, chintan? Little bit is okay. Do some arti, puja, archana, whatever we want to do. Do that. And just believe that, God will take care of me. Yes, you can do that and He will take care. Then why do dhyan? Dhyan is done by the sadhak, by the mumukshu, because that individual wants to be in a state while living in the body beyond Maya. Body is there, mind is there, everything is there. But the influence of Maya is no longer there. That is the goal. So Maharaj is showing, he's giving this answer for those who are wanting to go outside the clutch of Maya, the clutches of Maya. Very interesting. So dhyan here is where our internal power, internal energy is utilized to hold the murti as per dharana, hold it in a way which means the contemplation on the scriptural ideas and manan, chintan, everything is involved with love and affection. Bhajan, kirtan is already involved in this. Bhajan, it's already embedded in this. And you are just to reach a stage through dhyan where, as in written in the Gujarati language here in the footnotes, that without effort, prayatna vinaj vrittiyoni ekakarta, very beautifully written. Ekakarta meaning just a nice absorption, focus. Your ekakar means you are just linked without any kind of effort being made. That is also the meaning of dhyan. How fantastic. I'm so appreciative, and many pranams to the commentators on this one. That is absolutely beautiful. So now let's look at some additional points here. In the path of bhakti, the commentators have written, Bhakti margma dhyan etle bhagwanni murtinu ekagrata purvak chintan. What does it mean? Those who have taken the path of devotion, as we mentioned before. Path of devotion means path of love. Love from the heart is a path of emotion that is moving towards God, that is devotion. So that is bhakti marga. In the path of bhakti, what is the meaning of dhyan in the path of bhakti? It is the chintan, it is the contemplation with ekagrata. Ekagra purvak chintan. Ekagra purvak nu, murti nu ekagra purvak nu chintan. The chintan of the murti, the constant, again and again, love, the connection with the murti through mantra, Swaminarayan mantra, through the form of Maharaj, through the murti of Ghanshyam Maharaj. So that physical, then the murti is present in the Ekantik saints who are holding Bhagwan. They are siddhas. They are Panchvartman Siddha. They have Nishkam, Nirlobh, Nisvan, Nirman, Nisneya, 64 qualities of saints. All of that is present in them. If they have all that, they are holding the murti continuously. That is called Dharak Sant, Akhanda Dharak. Akhanda means that's the state we want to reach. To hold Bhagavan constantly without break. To reach that stage, this word dhyan is used. In the Bhakti Marg, the word dhyan is used that you're holding the murti of God, Bhagwanni murtinu ekagrata purvak chintan. Ekagrata purvak means with full ekagrata. Ekagrata means a one-pointed one focused, one laser-focused, contemplative absorption inside the Murti. Amazing. Is there such a state? Yes. Absolutely there is. And then one goes beyond Maya. Because involved in this is automatically what Vedanta has taught. Advaita Vedanta is not contradictory. Advaita Vedanta stops at a certain point. This goes way beyond that. Because as soon as Maharaj uses the word Murti, he's talking about beyond Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta is just a layer of realization. That is there, that you are the Brahman, Nijatmanam Brahmarupam. He breaks through that layer, and the Brahmamaya Sharir is created, which is the next question that will come in this Vachanamrut. And then through that divine body, you can see God. You can worship God in the abode of God. This is the idea. This is the realization that there is Bhagavan with form, and that form is beyond Akshara Brahma. And to reach that form, or to realize that same Paramatma has come here as incarnation, or has sent incarnations, comes himself as Avatari. Avatari meaning the source of incarnation. That is also it's all jam-packed. See, any line of Vachanamrut connects with all the other lines. So you can take any line, it has all the other lines embedded within it. That's the amazing thing. The same thing is true with the Gita. But Vachanamrut particularly is spoken, written in such a way that any line has all the other lines interspersed within it. Has all the other concepts and all the other scriptures. It's all in one and one in all. This is the idea. And then different questions are asked, no doubt, but they all interlink together. So the fact of the matter, as per Vachanamrut, the teachings of Vachanamrut, is that one who has taken the path of bhakti, Bhakti Marg. I'm reading now from the footnotes on this word dhyan. There's a whole bunch of them. It'll take us some time to go through all the notes. I will try to cover all the notes as per the BAPS app, as a reference. And then people who are not part of BAPS, or, I would request people who are not part of BAPS or part of any particular, sanstha, or they're not familiar with Swaminarayan tradition at all, just to be patient, to go through these things carefully, to not be critical, and whatever path you may be following, it's okay. I'll try to present this objectively because, I'll tell you the one thing that really is an unfortunate fact and truth. There's so much inter-organizational conflict and divisiveness that the focus on spirituality, but exactly what Maharaj is talking here, exactly what is written even by the BAPS people, that this ekagrata purvak chintan, that gets deflected because of all controversies. We don't want that to happen. We don't want to be in controversy. Whatever path you're following, okay, try to take good from others. If it's a different perspective, it doesn't fit into you, leave it alone. Like even this idea of the Murti. If somebody says, no, I'm just Advaita Vedanta, okay, use the Murti concept to bring yourself to the Brahman. See what happens from that. Worship God with bhakti. Try it out and see. Even Shankaracharya ji has said that. But somebody out of ego says, oh, I don't want to worship anything. I am everything. Soham, soham, soham. That can just be an ego trip. It'll cause a lot of ahankar to increase. So this is my humble prayer to all, and to myself first of all, to always take what is good from all that will enhance our path, our understanding, whichever that may be. Do it that way. That will create the blessings. Let's not be close-minded. If we're close-minded, we cannot grow. We cannot start with fixed conclusions and then get into a state of open-mindedness. No, keep the mind open, and once you get to certain conclusions, still keep the mind open to grow further. This is the idea. Anyway, that's a little different subject. Let's get back to this. I apologize for diverting sometimes into other things, but this is a free, it is a free-flowing contemplation. There is no preset here. I have not planned what I'm going to say here. There's no planning here. It is just by the blessings of Bhagavan, and whatever comes in the mind for this person, for the world, is just being spoken here. That's all. So, Maharaj is Maharaj is talking about Bhakti Marg. And actually, the commentators in the BAPS app have written this sentence, Bhakti Marg ma dhyan itle bhagwanni murtinu ekagrata purvak chintan. What a beautiful sentence that is. Many prostrations to them. Fantastic. See, in the path of bhakti, when a bhakta, which is exactly what Shriji Maharaj is saying. Shriji Maharaj is saying, Bhagwan no bhakta hoy. The word hoy means he's established. He's trying to get established in the state of a devotee. That's a big thing. Somebody can say, oh, I'm bhakta hai, I'm a devotee. That doesn't mean like that. It is not like that. That's why he uses the word hoy. Hoy means the person is in that state of bhakta. He or she has evolved to the status of bhakta. And it is only the bhaktas that are going to do dhyan of the murti. Why should anybody do dhyan? Otherwise, people come into, like for example, in all Hindu temples, Swaminarayan temples, Jain temples, and Sikh temples, so many people who don't belong to those traditions, they go into those temples also they just see what is there. Maybe somebody invited them. They might fold their hands a little bit. They're not serious about doing any. I mean, they may not even be part of that tradition. They're not interested in that so much. They just come for whatever reason. They like architecture or nice pillars or whatever it is. That's a different thing. That's fine. They have that also has benefit for them. But that's not what Maharaj is talking about here. He's talking about devotees, people, sadhakas who have come to the stage of being a devotee of God. Who have come to that stage. Bhagwan no bhakta hoy, tene. For such a person. It is for such a person. It is by such a person. It is actually such an individual who is a bhakta that is going to be able to realize what is Maya. As per the teachings of Vachanamrutam, it is in the path of bhakti you will realize what is Maya. The other paths are also there. Ashtanga Yoga path is there. You might realize some aspects of Maya. Even in the Jnana Marg, as per Shankaracharya ji, yes, you will realize what is Maya. But that is a more difficult path to take. Here, the path of bhakti is straightforward if and only if the devotee is intent upon the dhyan of the murti. If one wants to go outside of Maya and the influence of Maya, then dhyan is absolutely, unequivocally, without compromise, it is unequivocally, without compromise, without diversion, it is absolutely, unequivocally needed. It is a criteria. It has to be done. There is no way out of Maya without dhyan. That is also implied in this sentence. There is no way out of Maya without dhyan. Somebody says, I will do bhajan, kirtan, manan, chintan, thodi arti, puja karenge, etc. And then not sit for dhyan, you will not get out of Maya that way. That will bring you up to a certain stage. That is, it will make the mind calm. It will make the mind a little pure. It will create a better quality of emotion. Yes, all that will happen. It will start the process of eventually doing dhyan. Gunatitanand Swami has shown those stages. He says, Sarva karta bhajan karva shreshta che. He says, out of all the other worldly activities, after you've done your duties in the world, sit for bhajan kirtan. Don't waste time. Shikshapatri says that also. But so that is a beginning, bhajan kirtan. Then from bhajan kirtan, you move into a stage of dhyan. It is a transition from bhajan kirtan to dhyan. Dhyan is done by mantra. This is one way. Now, I don't want there to be a misunderstanding. It is possible to do dhyan of just one bhajan, and that you can turn it into dhyan. For example, there are so many fantastic bhajans in Gujarati. Bhagwan Swaminarayan ke sab bhajan hai. Fantastic bhajans are there, written by the Paramahansas. You can take any one. You can even take this, the four famous padas, the Ordana Pad, written by Premanand Swami. But the last two were spoken by Maharaj, but he put them in the poetic form. Mujhe bhi na jaan jo re, bija maik so akar. It goes on. Bolya Shri Hari re. So those four are very famous. It is possible to do dhyan, to reach a stage of dhyan, by getting absorbed in those four poems, four padas. Yes, it is possible. It is possible to take just one line from just one bhajan and turn that into dhyan. For example, Tamari murti vina maranath re, biju mane aapasho ma, hu to e jamagushu jodi haath re, biju mane aapasho ma. It's a very famous bhajan by Muktanand Swami. Or maybe it's Premanand Swami. One of them has written this. You can take that one line and repeat that line using a mala. So how to do that? You can put this E scale or D scale or G scale Tanpura from the YouTube, and then you can speak it like this. You can speak it like this. You can speak it in a rhymed way, in a musical way, or you can speak it straight. Tamari murti vina maranathre, biju mane aap shoma. Tamari murti vina maranathre, biju mane aap shoma. Hu to ej magu chu jodi hathre, biju mane aap shoma. You can speak it like you're speaking a mantra. You can do that. Because the word mantra, of course, it refers to all the Vedic mantras, Upanishadic mantras, Swaminarayan mantra, etc. But you can take a line and repeat it and make it into a mantra by mananam. That is actually the definition of mantra, that you are contemplating on the one idea, it becomes a mantra for you. Like, oh Lord, other than your murti, I don't want anything other than you. That's what the meaning in that line. Tamari murti vina mara nathare biju mane aap shoma. But if we start to meditate on that, my God, it's a shocking line. It's not a small thing. We want so many things in this sansar. We want God, plus we want all these other things. In that case, that is sakam bhakti. We should be clear. That is not pure nishkam bhakti. Nishkam bhakta doesn't ask anything from God. It doesn't even ask for mukti. There's another bhajan like this. Hari janane ghera betha tirtha. It's a beautiful, beautiful bhajan. It talks about this also. That the devotees, the highest level devotee, they don't ask for anything. But if we are not at that stage, ask God. Don't be in a state of just trying to show or trying to create Nishkam Bhakti when you're not there. This is another very interesting, somehow my mind has gone into that thing now. I don't know why. But whatever Bhagwan ki ichha hogi isme, Sakam Bhakti is perfectly alright. Don't worry about it. Do it. If you need things in the sansar, you want to see happens, whatever you want to see occur in this sansar, in your family, in your businesses or whatever, ask Bhagwan for that. Ask him for everything. And this is where some of those other mantras, Vedic mantras and other Devi Upasana mantras are useful. There's so many things are there. I won't go into all that. But that has to do with the sansaric experiences to a large extent. Not completely, but to a large extent. Right? So, if we are wanting to do dhyan of a line of bhajan, then by doing the dhyan of that, by repeating it again and again and again and again, you can repeat 10,000 times this one line, Tamari murti vina maranathare biju mane aapashoma. You can turn that into a mantra. Not that it's a Sanskrit mantra, but it has the same power. It will get embedded within. So it is possible to turn a bhajan into a quote mantra. I'll put it this way, into a quote mantra. It's not actually a mantra, in terms of the Sanskrit language, or like mantras given by the rishis or given by God. These are bhajans created by devotees. So I mean, you can controversially look at that also, I won't go into that. But you can meditate on that. Try it and see. Take one bhajan, take a full 5-minute bhajan, and really go into it inside your heart. That is dhyan. That is a very nice way to begin. Sit with one bhajan, listen to it again and again, and let it absorb inside. And what that bhajan will do, it will clean up the antakarana. It is a form of dhyan also. And it will make the energy in the mind resonate in such a way so that for the next dhyan that the connection with Bhagwan is enhanced. And in that connection, the murti, there's so much love and affection, one doesn't forget the form. The form is meditated on. And in that meditation on the form, then eventually that dhyan turns into, as per Gunatitananda Swami's teachings also, you begin to live inside the Atma. It's called Atma Rupe Vartvu. That is beyond dhyan. You get closer to the Atma. You become a siddha. You reach a siddha state. The doshas, the shadripu, all those things are not bothering you anymore. And then from Atma is called Atmanishta, then Atmasatta, and then from Atmasatta is like, the continuous awareness that I'm the Atma. There's Atma, the glimpses of the Atma, Atma Darshan, and from Atma Darshan there is Atma Sakshatkar. From the Atma Sakshatkar there is the oneness with Akshara Brahma, and in that oneness there is then the final realization of Parabrahma Paramatma. Ekadashi, Vachanamrut, Garada Madhya 8, Gnanyagna, Yogagna. This is such an extensive thing. This can go on forever. It is endless. It's already 51 minutes are gone. We'll stop here for today. Continue tomorrow. There's no end to this. Once Sachin here goes into, by the grace of all the gurus, this will just go on and on and on and on and on. There's really no end. And that is a krupa. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta, Bhagwan ka dhyani Ananta, Bhagwan ki bati Ananta. God's power is infinite. We are just a drop in the ocean. May the Supreme Lord, may the Supreme Paramatma bless us all. May all the sages bless us, and may each person remain healthy, wealthy, well off in their life, with good wishes on this day, day of June 23rd, 2023, with prarthana at the feet of Bhagwan Ghansham Maharaj. I have a fantastic murti at home by the grace of God. By his own krupa, he's there. And we do bhajan, bhakti, kirtan. All the sages, all the incarnations are here. And if anyone has any comments or anything you want to say or anything you want to say about this, please let me know. Would love to hear from you. This is a seva to put this into the English language to whatever extent Sachin can. It is an endless subject. There's no end. So that is Ananta. That is Bhagwan is Ananta. With that bhav, with that prarthana, Hari Om Jai Shri Swaminarayan.